What you're about to see is very special to me and to my friend Frank Bolkeback, and to the many people who were my friends many years ago when I was 14 years old, and 15 and 16. Because you're about to see two films that I and my friend Frank actually wrote, produced, directed, did the makeup for, did the camera work for, edited, did the lighting for, did it all. We didn't know whether we wanted to be makeup artists or cinematographers or, you name it. But we knew that we loved film. So every weekend, we would take all of our money that we had saved and accumulated throughout the week, cutting hedges and mowing lawns, and we would buy Kodak 8mm motion picture film. And he had a camera that was given to him by his mother for Christmas. And we would, and I believe I may have already said this to you in one of the earlier promos, we would make this film every weekend, little scenes every weekend, and then we'd cut it together and put it together with paper clips, and then finally put it together with Mallard tapes. Well, anyway, now it's 45 years later, and you are about to see the premiere showing of two of the films that I and Frank Bolkeback made many, many years ago. The first film is called The Mad Dr. Rodrick. The second film is called Vandar. But let's talk about The Mad Dr. Rodrick first. In The Mad Dr. Rodrick, which, by the way, does not have a soundtrack. Unfortunately, when it was first made, the soundtrack was on reel-to-reel tapes, and it's been lost over the years. But what I'm going to do is, while the film is playing, I'm going to give you a commentary, and that way you'll be able to follow the storyline a little better than had I not. And but before we start, let me show you a few items that are in this film. And by the way, the film is about twin brothers, and I play both parts. I play the good twin, and I play the evil twin. And the good twin, Nicholas Rodrick, is going up the hill to the castle to kill the evil twin, the Mad Dr. Rodrick. All right, now, here are a few items that I made when I was a kid, and we've been trying to read the etchings on the back of this thing, but this is a little clay piece that I did that, bring it over here for you, that I tried to make look like Boris Karloff. Now, if you're familiar with Boris Karloff, you'll definitely recognize the upper lip and the mouth and the nose, all right? And that was my somewhat abstract clay sculpture of Boris Karloff. And at the very beginning of this film, you're going to be seeing this floating in the limbo of space. And this here is another little sculpture that I did. I don't know when I did this. I think I did this in the very late 50s or very early, this one here, in the early 1960s. This one here definitely was done in the mid-1950s. I was just a very, very young boy. And you can see that I put, this was like a dough, it was very malleable, and you could sculpt into it. And I think I was in second grade when I did this. And while it was still somewhat moist, I pressed the stitches, the thread into the eyes and into the mouth to make it look like a shrunken head. It's kind of fun, isn't it? And then we have these little ashtrays that I did just to show you how crazy I was as a kid and how much I loved makeup artistry and professional makeup. This is an ashtray that bears the name Bud Westmore. And this one right here, and honestly, I would have loved to have given this to Bud, but I spoke to Bud on the telephone many times, but I never got a chance to really meet him in person. That's really unfortunate. This here is another ashtray that I did that says Universal City, right? And if you look real carefully, you'll see the IATSE right in the middle. IATSE, which is the union, the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, all right? And so there are a few little items that I did as a kid, sculptures, that you may see in this movie. I know definitely this one's in the movie. You'll see it floating. This one may be, I'm not sure. The ashtrays are not. I just wanted to show them to you. Now, I have to tell you this. The evil twin comes down from the hill every night. There's a flashback that I explain, that the good twin explains to his friend, all right? And his friend David, who is going to help him kill the evil twin, right? And he's explaining to David all about his evil twin, right? And he's telling David how the evil twin would come down from the castle at night, and he was a vampire, and he would go after people, right, to bring them back up and experiment on them and all this horror film type of stuff. And boy, we were crazy kids. And there's one scene that you'll see is right out of every horror film. In fact, it's right out of Black Sunday, the film that starred Barbara Steele. All right, the Italian film that Barbara Steele was in, which really influenced me a lot. And you'll see that Dr. Rodrick comes down from the castle at night, and he transforms himself, and he goes down and into the good twins' house, and you see the bedroom door opening, and he's gradually getting closer and closer to the good twin, and the good twin is in bed, right? And the good twin reaches over, you know, where there's usually always a crucifix, and, well, my grandmother wouldn't let me use any of the crucifixes, right, to ward off the evil twin. So instead, I got this, right? This was always hanging in my grandmother's kitchen above the door that led into my bedroom. Yeah, that's right. We had a real tiny house, and you went straight from the kitchen into my bedroom. And this says, this is John 3:16. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Well, this is a religious object, an icon, right? A religious icon. And I thought, well, what if I showed this, and I uncovered this real quickly and showed this to the evil twin as he's approaching me in my bed? Maybe that would ward him off, right? Well, you'll have to watch the movie to see if it does, all right? So here we go, the Mad Dr. Rodrick, and I'm going to give you a commentary. I'm going to try to remember the dialogue. All right, and I'm going to try to mouth it as best I can. All right, this should be fun. Here we go. Now that's a chest that we had made, or actually that we took from somewhere, and we made it look like it was a coffin. We have one light going on it. I sprinkled some sawdust on it, and you can see that I'm in some kind of a robe of sorts there, very much mimicking the Vincent Price wardrobe in like the House of Usher and the Pit and the Pendulum. Now I'm unlocking the casket here, so to speak, and we open this, and what do we have in here? This is the very first, you're about to see the very first facial positive face mask that I made. Now this is not a person there. This is a face cast of one of my friends. His name is Frank Bach. And that was a cast I made. I laid some hair on it. I believe it was just wool that we laid on it. And we put it in this box, and we made it look like a casket. All right, now this is to simulate one of Dr. Rodrick's victims. So that was the lead-in to the film. Aha, there it is. There's the sculpture that I did in the late 1950s. And there's, well, actually, I'm not sure if that was the one or not. That's another one that I did, which is, there it is, that one right there. You can see my hand in the back. Now, we double exposed these. And there's another one. That one is gone. That doesn't exist anymore. That was broken into a million pieces. And that one is also gone. I don't know where that is. My friend Frank Bolkovac thought it would be funny to take and put this skeleton there. And then there's this one little section where I believe the skeleton is waving at the camera. Frank, you're such a clown. That's funny. So it goes from this, and it fades to black. And then it goes to various colors. And I remember when I watched the earlier American International films like The Pit and the Pendulum, they always had all kinds of vivid colors in them at the very beginning. So I chose to start this film that way as well. First with the vivid colors, and then the titles came up right at this moment. AUS, that was our film company. It was called American Universal Film Corporation. We were kids. We were 14 years old, and we figured, wait, let's take the American from American International and the Universal, and the International from Universal International. And let's put it together and let's make that our company. So here it is, the Mad Dr. Rodrick, all rights reserved, printed in Cinemagic Technicolor, and it was Technicolor. And here's Frank Bolkovac's credit. Special Cine Effects and head cinematographer and film editor. And John Burgote and John Conte were credited for lights and audio. I don't think I ever saw them on the set. My cousin James Senti did the original score, and we used records from Rimsky-Korsakov, his music. We had some really terrific music at that time. And I gave myself a single card screen credit, makeup created by Joseph D. Blasco. And I don't know who this other guy is. He doesn't have a D in his name, and he directed it. And it's in Transylvania, 1929. Now, it opens, as does Black Sunday for some coincidental reason, with this young man. His name is David, and he's in a stagecoach. That's right, that's a stagecoach. And he's looking out the window, and he sees Seton Hill College. Oh, no, it's Seton Hill College, yes, outside of Greensburg, Pennsylvania, but not in the Mad Dr. Rodrick. In the Mad Dr. Rodrick, that's where where the Mad Dr. Rodrick lives, not Vandar. You'll see Vandar next. And so he notices that the stagecoach driver is passing the castle. So he opens the door and he yells out to the fellow and he says, "Hey, why are you passing the castle? You know, I have to go there. So go back." So the guy says, no, I'm not going to go, as they do in all films. So he gives him a few bucks here, and the guy says, "Okay, I'll take you there." So he gives him the money, he closes the door, gets back to reading his book, and David is now safely on his way. Well, I don't know about safely, but he's definitely on his way to visit with Nicholas. All right, with Nicholas Rodrick, the good twin. Now, here is David. Now, remember, we're all the same age here. We're all about 14, 15 years old. And I'm knocking on the door, or he's knocking on the door here, which is actually the interior of my aunt's house. And my Aunt Kay lived here. Check out the plastic drapes. And that was me with a painted on mustache. There I am in my Vincent Price wardrobe. And I am saying, well, David, he says, "Well, what did you send for me for?" And I say, "Well, David, it's a long story. But first, we're going to have a toast. Shall we have a drink?" And he says, "Sure." So we made we wanted it to look like liquor, right? So we put some tea and some orange juice together. And I'll see if I can remember the dialogue. "Now, David, to our success. To our success." Glop, 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 glop. Okay, here we go. "Well, David, you do know why I sent for you, do you not?" "No, David. Nicholas, why did you send for me?" "Well, David, it's a long story. It all began with Dr. Rodrick. Mad Dr. Rodrick." I can't believe I really remember this after 45 years. All right, then we pan up to the corner of the room, and suddenly we are now we're telling the story. Here he is. Here's the other twin, the evil twin, Dr. Rodrick. Mad Dr. Rodrick. And we're watching him. He's down in his little castle laboratory, and he has all of his chemicals here in front of him, and he's going to be mixing and playing and taking notes, and he's experimenting, trying to find the secret of eternal life, and using a oil and vinegar receptacle. We were mixing things together. That's actually my aunt's, and she got really angry when she found out that we used that. There's no continuity here, as you can see. It went from the oil and vinegar receptacles over to some whiskey shot glasses. Aha! Now, here he has one of his harmless victims, or his hapless victims, and he's going to inject him with this serum that he made. All right, and this is one of those. This thing was called a hypophony, and you could buy it. In the back pages, they had ads in the back pages of Famous Monsters of Filmland magazine, and this thing, I know that I saved my pennies for many, many moons in order to buy it. And you retract it. It's a hypodermic syringe. We put blood on the end of it to make it look like there was, his arm is bleeding, and to make it look as though we actually pulled blood out of his arm. And now he's taking this, and I suppose he had already injected the serum into. Oh my goodness! Look, the lights came into the picture. Well, don't pay any attention to that. All right, now he's injecting the serum into his own veins. The evil twin, the evil mad Dr. Rodrick, is now injecting the blood from the victim that contains the serum of eternal life into him. But what happens? What happens when he injects this? Is he going to live forever? Oh my God. Was I ever that young? Check out the painted mustache. All right, I'm going through a transformation. Here is an early Joe Blasco. I must say, it's not an award-winning makeup. I was 15, and there we go, and I'm turning. I had a missing tooth then, too. Check it out. Well, it's not missing anymore. And so I turn into this horrible monster here. This is kind of reminiscent of the change that John Barrymore goes through when he changes from Dr. Jekyll to Mr. Hyde. All right, he feels his face. Oh, nothing happened to his hands, though. I wonder why his hands didn't change. Oh, he sees himself in the mirror. He's horrified. What is he going to do? Well, there's only one thing to do. Go down into the village and kill more people. We've got to keep experimenting. We've got to experiment. Wait a minute. This looks like my brother's bedroom door. Check it out. I think he's going to kill his good brother. Here's the scene I was telling you about. The door opens, and there's the good brother. That's Nicholas. He's the good twin. And now he looks over, he sees the door opening, and we see the door open further. And I did this makeup with red makeup because I wanted to see how it would look in black and white, and it turned black, right? And you can only see the makeup in one flash. There's one flash of light when they process the film. Get ready for that flash of light, and you'll be able to see the makeup. Here comes the evil doctor, and where's the flash of light? There it is. You saw it for a split second. I think you can see it one more time, too. And he goes up, okay, here we go. He's going to uncover the religious icon, the John 3:16. There it is. God, for God so loved the world. He saw the word God, and watch this pullback. Oh, here's another flash. He sees it. He's frightened by the word of God, and he pulls back, and he flees the house. That was a close call. And we pan over to the religious emblem. All right, now here comes the mad doctor. He's coming back, and apparently he's been sucking blood from people's necks, and he's all white and pale. The only thing that he forgot to do is make up his ears because his ears are pink. All right, here we go. And watch the blood spurt out of his mouth in this one shot. Ooh, we were very proud of that. All right, the mad doctor comes down into his cellar, and he's very distraught. He's very tired with his pink ears, and he passes out. The next day, he's at it again. He's at it again. See the red blood on my outfit there? Well, that's because we shot the end of the movie before this scene. And in the end of the movie, I get killed, and I get killed with a wooden stake that goes into my stomach there. And so you're not supposed to really know any of that. So let's continue. So here we go again. The mad doctor now, his serum apparently is working so that he doesn't have to go out at night anymore. He can actually go out in the sunlight. So he's going down the hill. This was Corbel's Hill. And this kid, Richard Kuntz, Dick Kuntz, another of my classmates, he owned a house up on the top of Corbel's Hill, and there was this castle that you saw me coming out of, it looked like a castle, but it really wasn't. It was a wine cellar, all right? It was an old wine cellar, and during the Civil War, they used to use it to put their cannons on top of, to protect the hill. Anyway, here he is, and he's a victim, Dick Kuntz, and he hears something, and he goes to look to see what it is, all right? He goes outside, and he doesn't see anything. All right, well, okay. Well, there's nothing out there, so I may as well come back in. Check out those expensive sets. Hanging plastic. I love it. And, of course, the outfit he's wearing with the ascot is right out of a Vincent Price movie. Oh, but here comes the creature. What was that? That was an experimental makeup that I did. And we figured, well, let's throw that in at this point. Maybe it'll look good at this point. So the light dims down, and then the light grows stronger, and he looks up, and he sees the mad Dr. Rodrick. Well, not yet. He hasn't come in the door yet. He sees the door opening. Here he comes. Now, this is right out of a Bela Lugosi movie, right? Right out of the Dracula, I'm going to hypnotize you and suck your neck routine. So here he goes. Look at those eyes. Holy moly, was I into it or what? And wham! Oh, Oh, gory, gory, gory. What did our parents think of us? Here we are, cutting necks and cutting our heads open. And what's even worse is we're documenting it on film. Well, you know what? I'm really happy that we documented it and that we made these films, because now, at age 62, I'm able to go back and to look at these and to marvel at actually how passionate we were as children and how much we loved the genre of the terror film. And continuing, now here's an effect that we did, which was a stop motion effect. The Mad Doctor continues. Now he's going to get this guy's brain. So here we go. Now he starts to cut into his head. Notice how the blood actually drips. So we're starting and stopping this, and someone is going in and putting blood right onto the area where we want it to bleed. And then here we have a really tricky little close-up where the blood only comes into the top of the frame. And here we go. Now we continue to cut the head open. And then now we're seeing the pit where the Mad Dr. Rodrick actually threw his victims. And here's Johnny Myers. He's another friend of mine that lived up in North Irwin, Pennsylvania. And here we see him all sprawled out there on the pit. And there's the other victim, Dickie Koontz. And what do we have going on here? This is in the cellar of my grandmother's house. And once again, the Mad Dr. Rodrick is coming downstairs to either perform some experiment or to create some kind of mayhem. Aha! He's got another experiment. Check out this surgical table made of a cardboard box and this doctor's instrument made of a cuticle scissors. Notice he has only one rubber glove on. I suppose we had a very, very small budget and we could only afford one rubber glove. Look at the dirty makeup sponge that we're using here. This poor kid's all tied up, and the doctor is supposedly making a pathway into his artery so that he can put this chemical or something. Look at this demented kid. I was kind of like the Orson Welles of West Jeanette, Pennsylvania, and now he's putting this electric cable down into his neck. And look at the hands as they pull back. Notice the shadows. Now we have the guts of an old radio, believe it or not, and we're turning this thing on, and you can see all the tubes in the radio. And as the power starts to go into him, the electrical power, he comes to life. The doctor is finally succeeded in bringing a dead body to life. He goes further and further and further with it, and now he's bringing someone else to life. God, how many bodies does he have hidden down there in the cellar? This is worse than arsenic and old lace. Oh, he turns everything off, and bingo, cut off the power, cut off the life. And once again, we see one quick look of the Mad Dr. Rodrick, and we go back to present time. Let me see if I can remember the dialogue. Now you know, David. Something must be done. And we, David, are the ones that are going to do it. What are we going to do, Nicholas? Tonight, at 9 o'clock, David, when the moon is full, we must destroy him. Hang on. We must destroy him. We must destroy him. Here it is. Before he destroys us. Tonight? You want to go tonight? He says, yes. Yes, David. Tonight at 9 o'clock. Tonight. Here's 9 o'clock tonight. Notice how the minute hand is just perfectly going up to the 9 o'clock position. And we segue to the good twin, Nicholas Rodrick, and David going up the hill. Now, guess what? Check out David, the back of David's head. That's not the same guy. David's mother wouldn't let him play with us anymore. She thought we were a bad influence, and we were a work of the devil. So we had to get a stand-in. We had to get a double. Notice how he doesn't turn around. He doesn't look. Oh, I stumble, as in most horror films, and I can't go on. And David has to continue on without me to kill the Mad Dr. Rodrick. And you notice how carefully we orchestrated this, or choreographed this, where you never see the front of his face, right? Because we didn't want anybody to know that the kid, Albert Chappell, who originally played David, wasn't permitted to finish the movie. But I was smart. I had filmed all of the close-ups that I needed, as you will see soon, as he's approaching the castle, which now you know was really a wine cellar. Okay, so here goes David all alone. He's got to go all alone on his own up to the castle. It's now 20 minutes after 10, and we see the good twin, Nicholas Rodrick, coming home. Notice how light it is for 20 minutes after 10 at night. And even the blinds being pulled down don't hide the fact that it's daylight. But anyway, stick with me here, folks. It's 20 minutes after 10, and Nicholas, at home again, falls asleep, while David is making his way up the pathway to kill the mad Dr. Rodrick. Here we go. Step by step. He gets to the castle, and he looks up. Now, here's that great footage that I saved that I had done first. Now, wait a minute. Here's what he's looking at, right? He's looking up at the house. This was another house down in Irwin on Main Street. Here it is. There's the footage of the original David. All right, now here's the double again from the back, walking to it. That's the only footage we had. All right, so he goes in, all right, he goes around, and he's going to try to find his way. Here's David again. We've shot this earlier as well. Thank goodness for that. And then he comes in and he sees the mad doctor, and he looks around. He's going down. He's in the doctor's laboratory. He gets this wooden stake, and now he's going to kill the mad doctor. But the mad doctor's assistant sees him and stops him and wrestles him to the ground and is about to kill him. But the mad doctor stops him and says, "Don't put him on the table. We can use him in our experiments." All right, so now they put him on the table, and they're going to start working on him, all right? They're going to start putting the serum into him. But at the same time, the good twin, Nicholas, wakes up and comes up to the castle. He's going to leave his house, and he's going to go to the castle because he realizes, oh, my God, look how much time has left. So much time has left since I came here. I fell asleep. And it's still light out. They must live in Finland somewhere. It must be the summer or the winter time or whenever it is, whenever it's daylight all night. Anyway, here we are, and we had trouble. We tried to get his coat off of him, and we weren't able to. So you see that cut there? We had to cut and put the coat over him and then pull his arm out. All right, so here we go. The doctor's preparing. Look at this beautiful dolly shot across this pan across the weeds there. And so now Nicholas is running up the hill. And he knows that there's something wrong because David has not come back. So now the doctor is preparing to begin the experiments while Nicholas approaches the castle as quickly as he possibly can to try to save David from his evil brother. I see the castle in the background there. You can tell we shot this in the winter. This is like right after the first snowfall. See that right there? We actually scratched the film to make it look like electricity. And we did that at that point because we had overexposed the film while it was still in the camera, and the left side of the film was overexposed, so we figured, hey, this would be a great place to make it look like there was some electricity coming and going into the body, right? So Frank Bolkeback scratched the film, and that's how we created those electrical spark effects, electrical streaming effects, lightning effects. And so here we go now. He's ready for the operation. Notice the chain hanging there, as you see in most mad labs. There's always chains hanging. Why, I don't know why there are chains there, but there are chains. All right, now, hey, Nicholas, this is no time to slow down. Come on, get your butt in gear and get up that hill. Get in there. You got to save David because your evil twin brother is about to kill him. Hurry up, get up there. He's already been anesthetized, for God's sake. Get him going, get him out of there. All right, the doctor's making his final preparations here, checking the eyes and making certain that everything is ready. And here come the instruments. Check it out. My grandfather's switchblade, or the knife that he used to, a little paring knife that he used to cut the skin off apples with. And our hypophony, the hypophony. Here he is. Oh, goodness. They nailed everything up. You can't get into the castle. So now, how did he get in? All right, so let's look for the open window. Keep in mind that none of the windows were open. We had to pretend that we were going into this place. So we just get up there, and luckily there was this little indented area where you could go around and stand inside the window. Now, we just changed the angle of the camera, and we used the same side of the building. Now, it looks like I'm crawling in. And then we cut away, just like that, and now the doctor's beginning. Scalpel. There's my grandfather's knife. And just as he's about ready to cut into David's head, down comes Nicholas. Stop! What do you want? I told you never to come here. Here comes the good twin, confronting the evil twin. I've come here to kill you, Rodrick. You don't deserve to live. You? You kill me? Your own twin brother? You must be mad. Completely insane. Completely mad. To think that you would kill me, your own twin brother. Me. Go away, Nicholas. You're just bothering me. Wow, now the doctor continues to rant and rave, and he's looking off, right? And he doesn't notice that Nicholas, while he's ranting and raving and looking away, sees this wooden stake down on the table, right? Why is there blood on it already? I don't know. Anyway, he picks it up and he throws it to the doctor, throws it at his brother. Come on, Nicholas, throw it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, goodness. You fool. Look what you've done. You've killed me. And watch that wooden stake flop all over the place. All right, now, the assistant tries to come over to help him, but first, Nicholas goes over to help his friend David to get him off the table. All right, and you see how the doctor, he's so angry, he threw his assistant down and knocked his assistant out. And you see that? You can see that what you're looking at there on my back, that's a body cast. I was actually in a body cast for 6.5 years because I had really severe curvature of the spine. And I did all of this while wearing a plaster body cast that they would change every 6 months. Okay, now he's bringing the back to the movie. He's bringing the Frankenstein monster to life. And did you notice that switch that was made out of 2 pieces of wood with the inside cardboard roll from a aluminum foil package? And this mask we bought again also from the back pages of Famous Monsters of Filmland magazine. And he says, kill them. So the monster has to obey, right? Because that's the doctor that brought him to life. I was very proud of that. You could actually see his teeth in that one shot. He says, what are we going to do, Nicholas? You leave it to me. You, go upstairs. Go upstairs and get ready to go. Hurry, go. And he stands there and he's watching what's going on. And the doctor knows, aha, he thinks, I've got you now. I've got you now. The Frankenstein monster is going to kill you. And so the monster approaches him and Nicholas says, stop, stop. There must be a shred of human in you somewhere. You must understand that he is a mad doctor. Kill them. Kill them. And he goes back after him again. No, there must be a shred of human in you somewhere. You've got to understand me. Please understand, listen to me. He's using you to kill innocent people. You mustn't listen to him. You mustn't do what he asks you to do. The monster slowly turns. Is he going to listen to Nicholas? Is he going to kill the mad Dr. Rodrick? Kill them! What are you doing, you fool? Kill them, I say! Now, Nicholas knows that he's got to get his butt out of there quickly. Oh, here's more chains. Now, I'm playing the Frankenstein monster here, too, in this shot. Just had to get in on the act. And see the sparks that we put in there? As he ripped down the chains, here it comes. He looks like, I think I kind of played him a little drunk. No. What are you doing? No, stop. And he starts to tear the whole laboratory apart. And he's knocking over all these old things that in the cellar. And he comes over here. Now look at that. That's a wooden dowel that my mother used to push the clothes down into the washing machine. No, don't touch that switch. You'll blow us all to atoms. Don't touch it. Hurry. You better go. See how we're hiding half of his face there? You better go. Get out of there. The whole castle's going to blow up soon. What? Okay, here we go. They finally made it out of the castle. That was quick. All right, they're running down the hill. They better get far away because when that place blows, it's really going to blow. Here we go. And get it down there behind a tree. That's it. Hide. Hurry up. Get down there. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. That monster, he's going to pull that switch any second. Oh, one little last thought of regret. Oh, I'm killing my brother. Oh, well. He keeps going. He keeps going. And so now they find a nice big fat tree to hide behind. And you are a monster. I am a demon without a soul. Death to us, Rodrick. Death. And he pulls down the switch. There, see the sparks fly? We scratched that. Okay, and then somebody's throwing wood at us, and you can see that we overexposed the film there on the left, so it looks like things are exploding. And now this is inside the laboratory, and with I'm throwing all kinds of things on this poor kid, and that's the assistant. That's Don Hutchinson, I think his name is, and so now the castle explodes, and the mad Dr. Rodrick finally meets his end right about now. Check out the broom. There's all kinds of things. Oh, here we go. We had a cigarette. Oh, here he goes. The mad Dr. Rodrick is dead. And that other shot where you saw the smoke going in front of the camera, we got a cigarette, and I lit up a cigarette, and we were blowing smoke. I was blowing smoke in front of the camera. So here we go, and watch this death shot here. The close-up of the mad, here it is. The mad Dr. Rodrick is dead. So back outside. Let's go, David. Job well done. See, there you can see the body cast that I was wearing. That was horrendous. Can you imagine doing all of this and having to be in a plaster body cast that's an inch thick? They changed it every 6 months. And I'm glad that they had actually made me wear that, because otherwise my back would have been much worse than it is today. But anyway, they walk off into the sunset, and here's your typical end to a horror terror film. And he looks up and he sees the debris of the castle and the smoke, and he continues to walk. Now, why David didn't wait for him, I don't know. But my direction was to let him go off on his. And we go up to the sky, and it is now the end. And we have the cast. Remember, a good cast is worth repeating from the old Universal days. Joe Blasco, Albert Chappell, Richard Kuntz, Don Hutchinson, and Vincent D'Antoni. We had originally made little cuts from the Universal picture, The Bride of Frankenstein, when the castle blew up, and we had all these real stars in the picture too, as kids. But because we're showing it on the internet, we cut it all out. But we did thank Universal City there for allowing us to use it while we were kids. And we dedicated this film to Boris Karloff. That was the mad Dr. Rodrick. And I cannot tell you how much fun. Well, you can tell by the way I've been talking that I was reliving it. I'm reliving it right now. I haven't seen that film in, at least 20 years maybe. And it's really a pleasure to see all my old friends, right? I really wish that I could have had all of them here to see this. And we're probably going to try to get in touch with them to let them know that their 15 minutes of fame has finally arrived. So there is the film that was made by yours truly and my friend Frank Bolkovac when we were both 15 and 16 years of age. That was The Mad Dr. Rodrick. Now the next film, that's right, this is a double bill, all right, double feature. The next film that you're about to see is not going to have a commentary because it doesn't need one. it has a soundtrack. That's right, we have an actual soundtrack that we put on this very next film. This next film is called Vandar. And again, I play a mad doctor, right? And you have to catch the storyline, you have to remember that Dr. Bandar, all right, Dr. Bandar, you'll see the old Dr. Bandar first, and you then will see his son afterwards. The first Dr. Bandar you see, where there's lightning and he's got the cat and all, is the original Dr. Bandar, the first Dr. Bandar. Then when we cut to the laboratory, you see a younger Dr. Bandar. Now, why is that? It's because I just didn't want to fool with the makeup. So we wrote into the storyline that there is now a younger Dr. Bandar. So when you see the younger Dr. Bandar at the top of the stairs in the laboratory, you'll know that we are now looking at the son of the older Dr. Bandar. Okay? So now, what's the storyline of Vandar? Well, let me give it to you very simply. Dr. Bandar is experimenting with the secret of life and death, as are all mad doctors, right? And, well, he finds it. He finds the secret. But in order to find it, he has to kill a lot of people, and he asks his assistant to go down into the village, right, and to bring back these bodies, right? And during part of the film that you're about to see, Dr. Vandar talks out loud, and he's overheard by his assistant, all right, saying, Dr. Bandar says that he's going to replace him in the laboratory, all right, because apparently he's not doing a good job, and he's going to replace him with his son, right? So that makes the assistant really jealous of Dr. Bandar's son. So the assistant kills the doctor's son and mutilates his face. The doctor asks the assistant to go out and bring him bodies, right? So what does the assistant do? He goes out, kills the son, mutilates his face, brings the body back to the doctor, and the doctor is bringing this body to life, not knowing that it is, in actuality, his son, right? Wow, what an imagination we had as kids, right? So, and here's another thing you got to remember. At the very end of the film, you're going to see that the cop, the police officer, the plainclothesman, unveils the phony face that the assistant is wearing. And there's one thing that we don't explain in the film, all right? Because we ran out of time. We weren't able to shoot these scenes. And that is that the assistant was actually a criminal, right? This is, again, from all the old horror films I've ever seen. The assistant to Dr. Bandar was a criminal who had a terrible disfiguration and a burn scar on his face. And the doctor made a rubber face to cover it. So when you see the assistant and his expressionless performance, it's because he's supposed to be wearing a rubber face that doesn't move very much, okay? So watch this very carefully, and I think you're going to enjoy this. And the doctor obviously meets his untimely or timely end very much in the fashion as most mad doctors meet their untimely end, in a swamp, sinking into the quicksand. So, without any further ado, here is feature number 2, made by Joe Blasco and Frank Bolkovac at the early age of 16. And this one is called Vandar.